can I see how you've hooked up the miners to your bus? Would you like me to go over my logistics flow from where the copper will come out of the ground, the copper ore, and then go into this refinery? There is a lot of ways to solve the problem that you are finding, okay? And I find it interesting that I'm going to show you how I solved it. And then I've had a lot of people say, why are you doing that? That's a waste of time. And it just means that they've solved it a different way, okay? I think you're recognizing that getting your materials in an organized way from where they exist in the ground and where they exist across the map to where your factories are is a pain point, okay? There are, I'll talk a little bit about some of the generalities of solving that pain point. I can just show you, I can of course show you how I personally solved it, but how I solved it may not be the, I have the hiccups, the best way for you to solve it, right? So I'll show you my way, but I also want to, teach you how to fish, not just give you a fish. So really it's about the transportation and logistics of materials, okay? There's 4 ways to move materials. There's more, but really there's 4 ways, okay? Now I've talked about this before. Here, let's boot up the old paint software here. All right, so there's really 4 ways to move materials, okay? Actually, let's not do this. Let's not do this. Let's do this. All right, so method, and then we'll do some pros, and then we'll do some cons. All right, we're gonna go with, here, let's move this over so I don't cover it over with my face. We're gonna do belts. All right, so pros on belts. Easy to build. Let's see, easy to understand. We'll do easy and cheap. We'll do easy and cheap to build. Okay. Moves medium amount of items. All right. Obviously, it moves more as you progress through the game, but I would call this a medium, maybe even medium to small, but we'll call it medium. What else? What else, guys? Mr. Kin, well. Hey, Ben. Yeah, not resource heavy, cheap. Yeah, exactly. Cheap, yes, for sure. What else? Let's leave a little space in case I'm forgetting some pros. And then let's go to trucks. Pros, they are fun. Oh, yeah, they are fun. Cons, everything else. Trucks, they are fun. I don't know if there are any more. No fuel and no power. Let's not do trucks yet. We'll do trains. Okay, this is the most common. We'll go most common to least common. Belts, trains. Pros, can move massive amounts of material. It's really the only pro that matters, by the way, here. Okay. Cons for belts, not flexible. All right. Trains, however, very, what's the word that I can't think of for flexible? Versatile. Oh, that's what I couldn't think of. Very versatile in terms of your use case. Okay. Cons: long setup time. Difficult to understand. Difficult to learn. They're not too hard to understand once you get it, but they're difficult to learn. We'll do high setup time. And they can be expensive. Especially if you're making blueprints that have a lot of train tracks on them, right? It can be expensive. What else was I gonna say? Lots high space requirement. Okay, train stations are big. You need to plan it. Okay, low space requirement. What else? Needs power. Yeah, it needs power. Can transport power. It's just the item buffers though. Yeah, so have a surplus fluid or items in the line for loading and unloading. Yes, you do that you have to have that for every train setup. Yeah, powerless, consistent. They are, I will tell, yes, I will, let's do that. I like that for belts, consistent. Difficult to make consistent. How about this? Easy to make consistent. Okay. Because I do believe trains can be consistent. For flow wise, you can move things with precision, but it takes a little while to figure out. Yes, not scalable. Yes. Over here. That kind of goes in with not versatile. Scalable. Sorry, my spelling's gonna be misses here. And then trains, nearly infinitely scalable. I'm not gonna call, but I'm just gonna say very scalable. In my, it's not even close. Scale. Oh my God, that's scale bale. There we go. I know it's wrong. I'm sorry. What else? What else, guys? Oh snap! There's more to trains. Oh no. Trains are very good. Cons to trucks, drunk drivers. Need signaling. Well, that's part. I think the signaling goes into the high setup time. But yeah, high setup time, signaling, right? All that stuff kind of goes in with that. Medium amount of items. Belts move the maximum amount of items physically possible in the game. Wrong, Snowman. They do not move the maximum amount of items in the game. A train track does. A train track moves way more items than a belt does. And it's not even close. I have moved through one train track in my updated 8 save. I moved 30,000 items per minute. You cannot put that through a belt. Always going here. Oh, I'm heading out for that. I hope you have a good time in the rest of your stream. Thanks, man. one train track. Well, okay, two, right? Because it was one there and one back. A two-way train track, I've moved 30,000 items per minute. And I only had to set up the train track one time to do so. Cons. Oh, there's cons with drones. Let's do drones next. We'll leave some room for trains. Drones. Low setup time. Highly versatile. Cons. Requires fuel. I will say now that in 1.1 we have more options for fuel, and that is less of a problem. But making batteries was very much of a pain in the butt in early access. I think it's less of a con, but it's still a con because you need to make some kind of fuel. Low throughput. High distance. We didn't do the distance. We'll do high distance here. The distance is part of the scalability. I would say like a medium distance here. I wouldn't do belts across my entire map. Partway up across the map, sure. I like sky belt buses like the next as much as the next man, but I wouldn't do belts across my entire map. I would do trains though, and I would do drones. Regardless, there's also no scenario plant needs to be 100% efficient. A train simply makes it far easier to move multiple resources large distance. I mean, I moved 30,000. Actually, that's not true. I moved 60,000 items per minute because I moved 30,000 packaged water per minute in one direction, and then the train brought back the 30,000 empty canisters on two tracks, and those weren't multiple items. And I'm sorry, but I reject your. There's no scenario a plant needs to be 100% efficient. Yes, there is. There is absolutely a scenario that a plant needs to be 100% efficient. And that scenario is if the person building it wants it to be. We get to play this game the way we want. And nobody gets to tell me that my plant being 100% efficient is unnecessary. I make all of my factories 100% efficient. At least I try to. I will miss sometimes, right? But that is what, if I can't play that way, I'm not going to play. It is required for me to make my factories 100% efficient. Now, somebody else, it may not be required for you. It clearly isn't, and that's totally fine. But I'm also not going to tell you that you need to make your factories 100% efficient. You don't get to tell me that I can't make mine 100% efficient. And if I want to do that with trains, I want the tools to exist in the game that allow that to happen, and trains are one of those tools. But if you're going to properly big, then belts are still the better option. I don't think so. I think trains are. I mean, and I'm proof of it. All the materials for this entire city, all of them, all the fluids except okay, not all of them, not the, I'm sending up 6 pipes of nitrogen gas. Except for that, all of the items for all of my factories are coming up through my trains. Through this line right here. This is 4 train lines. I mean, it's tens of thousands of items per minute are coming up through 4 train lines. And when I'm done, that's it, 4 train lines. So I don't think that's true, that if you're going properly big, then belts are still the better option. I don't think so. Do you know how many belts it would take me to do this? Do you know how many belts I would have to, how many lifts I would have to do to replace what I'm doing with these train lines? It's an insane amount. It's less if I have Mark 6, but it's still a huge amount. All right, I mean, I can go through the factories and I'm not even done, right? These inputs, I wish I had a summation here, but that's, 5,000, that's 10,000, that's 15,000. We'll round down 15,000 for this one. This one's going to need, actually not that much. We'll call it 5,000. Okay, that's 20,000. What about this factory? 6,000. We'll say 26,000. Rocket fuel factory. Is this my actual rocket fuel factory? Yes. 10, 25. Oh, I can't count the nitrogen. I'm taking those through a pipe. 15. We were at 26, so we'll call it 40. This is not too much. 3, 40, 42, 42. This is 6, so 48. And my computer factory is the last one here. 2,500, 50,000. We'll call it 50,000. So I'm moving 50,000 items per minute, or will, through these 4 train lines. All right, so if we run the math, we'll just assume the water can move 780 just to do the math. It can't. We need more pipes because they can only do 600, but we'll pretend. So 50,000 divided by 780. I'd need 64 pipes. 64 pipes and or belts in vertical buses, maximized, right? And that it's going to be more than that because you're going to have remainders and stuff like that, because obviously, you're going to want all your caterium to go up. You're going to want all your caterium to go up. It's not going to fit perfectly in an even number of belts. But, if we round up and say 70, that's probably fair, right? Or 4 train lines. And by the way, I put these train lines in a blueprint. Now, there's things I have to deal with the fact that they're train lines. I have to deal with the logistics of the trains, but I have to do the same if they're belts and pipes too. So, and by the way, I can move all those materials all way I want to, very quickly, very easy, very versatilely, because they're on a train track. I get the rest of the pros with it. Yeah, he took 100% efficiency a different direction. What other direction is there besides the factories work 100%? Is there another definition that I'm not understanding? Coming up on 2 train tracks. Yeah. Well, it's 4 total. Yeah. It's 2 up and 2 down. Bro, those trains look sick. Holy, thank you. MK3 pipes leaked. Trains are a long distance MK3 pipe. There's so much more, and I'm gonna have a lot of throughput left on those train lines. I could fit a lot more, because I'm barely. Now I will say the bottom track is probably maxed out, because I'm having some train issues where there's sometimes that there's a bit of a slowdown, right? A bottleneck coming up here, but the top track I've barely used, and I would say 40,000 fit through that bottom track pretty well, and assuming I had a factory big enough, I could probably fit 80 total between the two, right? I'm only going to end up doing 50, but I could probably fit 80 total. So yeah, nothing beats trains. It's just they're just too good. You can just pack too much in there. And like I said, I moved 60,000 items. That was 2 ways though, to be fair. 30,000 one direction, with 1 train line in my update 8 playthrough, and it worked. And it worked over a long period of time. 100% downtime? Not sure. Let's see. Drones, let's finish this off. Low throughput, high distance. Anything else? Low setup. What else did we have? They are a bit they're not that expensive. They're probably I would call them cheap. Which would actually not go there, it would go there. They're not very scalable. Okay, they're just not. You got to build. If you want more drones, you got to build more drone ports. Okay, if you want more trains, you can stick more trains on the same train line that you already built. But it doesn't matter because they're low setup time, so it makes the scalable not really that much of a problem, I think. 1,200 parts per minute times 8-minute average time across the map. 2,600 parts per minute. Problem is a train has to load and unload. The max throughput is closer to 9,000 parts per minute. Easier to use a train to move material across the maps versus belts. That's not. You're thinking about it wrong. You just add more trains, man, and add more lines onto the same. I mean, look what I'm doing. That one train line is a. I mean, I just showed you proof that what you said is not true. I mean, this is proof. Look at all the train stations, and more to come over here that are attached to these lines. I can just keep adding train stations. The only downside is how many trains fit on the tracks, and I'm about reaching that with my with the bottom track. You know, like I said, I'm having some issues. Sometimes a few too many trains try to get in at the same time, and it slows things down, right? And I could fix that, but I've about maxed it out. At least maxed it out in terms of with the amount of work I'm willing to put in to make it functional. We agree. So we simply put more material in. I think you're doing it per train. I'm saying a train track you're doing the math per train. I think that's where the flaw is, because we can just keep building trains. That's what makes it versatile. You can just keep building trains and moving different materials. I've built this train line once, and yet when it comes time to bring materials, the copper in for this copper powder, I'll build the track over here like this, and build out my trains, and it's done, right? I have to build a very, very small amount of track to add an entire new factory's supply line into a pre-existing infrastructure. So lastly here, I think there's probably more on drones. I just can't think of it. Trucks, they are fun, require fuel, low distance, not scalable, not versatile. They're cheap. I'll give you they're cheap. Prone to issues. Hard to learn. What else? Low, medium throughput. No, low to medium throughput. But there's another pro. Versatile. Thank you. I know. I'm really tired. I'll control replace all my versatiles. I think my scalables are wrong too. Here's another one. Honestly, I would not use trucks unless you are a glutton for punishment or have more than 1,000 hours in Satisfactory and you're bored. Yes, they can kill you. To be fair, so can trains. So it's okay. We're taking notes. No, you're good. You're good. It's okay. So are you bringing up what you need? Or are you bringing up everything and making yourself either use it or sink the remainder? So I am bringing up more than what I need in terms of raw materials. I am overproducing, and then the train just takes it back. See, most of these have at least some cars that are full. Oh my God, Becky. Right? That train has all cars that are full. And actually that indicates that maybe I have an inefficiency with one of my factories. Yeah, see, this one has some of the cars that are full. I'm oversupplying in some cases because I don't feel like precision supplying is that important, me personally. But once the material gets there, I don't have any, the machines that I have built run at 100% efficiency. And then I'm making a lot of items. Not all items are inputs to other factories. Some of them are, but others just go to my central storage. And when that very large central storage fills up, and the dimensional depot array that I have, and every item has its own dimensional depot. Once all of that fills up, then those extra items, yes, they get sunk, and that's why I have. Stuck. How much do I have? I have 1,063 coupons in the bro here, but I also have 634 in the dimensional depot. So you pronounced efficiency wrong? Maybe. Should I just say precision supply isn't important? What I said was that I find it not as long as you are feeding your factories enough raw copper. Do I care if it's 10 extra per minute or something? I don't. You may care. I don't care. Because the train just takes it back. It doesn't matter to me, but once it gets there, what matters to me is that the factories, that the machines work at 100% efficiency. Please buy the golden nut. I'll buy the golden nut when I'm done. Snowman, if you feel like it's important for your factories that only the exact amount of inputs get provided to them and there's never any overages, then more power to you. That's not personally a goal that I have made. Because for me, I don't mind that the trains take back the extra. However, there are some trains here that do look like there's a potential problem. I may have a problem with some of those other factories, and they do require troubleshooting and stuff, and I would like to do that. It's just, that's probably something I'll do after I've finished everything else. So let's walk through how I let's walk through bauxite, okay? So not copper ore because this one isn't done. Let's head over and let's do the bauxite, okay? And that'll kind of finish off your question. And I have no problems answering this. Coffee Stain needs another type of fuel called cuponite. Maybe. Yeah, I can run my drones on one coupon for 10 hours. I'll buy the golden nut when I'm done. One result that miners will stall a bit. Who gives a damn about 150? Yeah, doesn't bother me. I could overflow them. If I cared about that, I would probably overflow them. Hey, look at those 3 trucks. Oh, that was funny. So when you're far away, trucks just run without the physics attached. And then when you get close, they start doing physics things. All right, so we're gonna backtrack bauxite. Bauxite in my aluminum factory. Okay, so as you can see, we have bauxite. The bauxite goes into the bus line. It gets put around here, comes around, goes into there. All right, so that's where the journey of the bauxite ends. Let's backtrack it to how it gets here. We have a logistics floor, that's fine. Down here, we have bauxite being belted up through the factory. And where that belt comes from, by the way, I use the trucks for my factory to factory logistics. There isn't any raw materials being moved through trucks. It's only completed materials. So if one factory is making extra copper or wire, then it's, by the way, that's temporary. He will not be, actually, I could probably delete him. Actually, I'm gonna delete him right now. He was doing a job. That job has been complete. I also need to get lights down here. Yeah. This is some of my inefficiency also, by the way. Because I was stealing from one factory to make some temporary copper powder and pressure conversion cubes. Okay, so the bauxite. The bauxite comes in here like this. Now, this part is, I would say, required for any train. I don't really care about the unloading and loading shutting off. That's an easy fix. This is the fix. All right, you just need to have some storage here. And then, yeah, I mean, there's too much bauxite here, which means that I've got an inefficiency somewhere. The bauxite should not be this backed up. This part is, the only amount that you can guarantee to get out of it is 1 belt. I know that I'm getting more than 1 belt, but I'm getting less than 2 belts out of this. So somewhere between 1 and 2 belts, because these belts shut off when a train loads or unloads. How I manage that is I have these belt balancers in here to help make sure that if one of these goes dry, the other ones can pick up the slack, or if I have too much in one area, that too much can go over to a not enough in another area. All right, this is a, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is a 10 to 6 belt balancer. 10 belts go in, 6 belts come out, balanced, because I need 6 full belts of bauxite if this factory was running perfectly efficiency. So they come in via train. Okay, there they are right there, nice and full. I'm not gonna ride that train back because that'll take forever. I don't know what he's there for. I'm not gonna delete him. Let's make a temporary blueprint here. We're gonna track this, where are you? You should be in basic construction. There you are. Oh, I didn't want two of you. Apparently, I only had one of you. All right. We need some power. Let's steal some power from here. And we need a tube. What do we think? Think that'll make it? It'll be fine. What's the worst that could happen? Okay, so we can track the bauxite. That's actually a bauxite train right there. All the way through this train line right here, down through those trees, and then through that line right there and into my pyramid. Now the pyramid is it unnecessary? Probably. But there's a lot in this save that's unnecessary. It's how I've chosen to solve some of these problems. And here's the rub. Okay. This train needs iron, copper, coal, and limestone. That train needs bauxite, copper, ore, iron. Okay. That train needs a bunch of water. This train needs limestone, caterium, whatever. Okay, so where do we find the train stations that load exactly what I want onto each train to take them to exactly the underneath of each factory, loaded with what I want? Well, oh, we don't have any power there. All right, here we go. What do the chests solve? The chests solve the fact they even out the supply. Let me go back and look. I'll show you in where we're going. I'll show you where we're going. Ooh, ouch. Strikeout. We just took our heads off there. Didn't quite clear it, did we? Let's try again. I could have definitely traveled right now to my other cannon and not made this one. Oh, not over there. All right, we'll try this again. Ouch. My Pioneer no longer has a face. There we go. So this train line heads down here, and I have a raw resource hub that I use to manage everything. And so what I've done is the bottom floors down here. By the way, this is the Tyrell Corporation pyramids from Blade Runner, but that's just its form. Its function is the raw resource hub. So right here is a train that is a very large train, 10 cars with 2 trains. It comes in, and I built this train station where I felt there were a lot of very useful materials nearby, right here. Okay, this train station is right about here, and you can see I've picked off all of these, and they're being loaded into the train station. Now, I don't care that there are 3 crystals and 3 cateriums right next to each other. It doesn't matter that one of my I don't need a factory that needs crystal and caterium, but it's more efficient to put a train station there to scoop up everything that is around it and then send it to a central place. And then I take it, okay, the caterium or the crystals, that's SAM ore, coal, iron, limestone, caterium, crystal, right? This train's worth of items are going to like 4 different factories, right? They come up here and then I by the way, there's another train bringing in shit over there, and there's another one bringing stuff over there. And then I also am picking up all of there's plenty of raw resources in the Dune Desert. This pyramid is huge. This is on top of like a bunch of raw resources too. And all of those are being brought up here and organized. They're being shuffled around in this storage logistics floor. And I've also made sure that like iron is on the first level, copper is on the second level, limestone is on the 4th level, etc. Right? And so I can kind of keep my lines at least a little bit organized. This should probably have been taller, but it's fine. And then this guy, what is he picking up? He's not picking up anything because he's not actually attached. This guy is picking some shit up though. He's got crystal, caterium. All right, he's gonna be the computer train, right? Yeah, the John Hancock building is my computer building. Okay, that's this one. Okay, it just needed caterium and quartz. That's all. So I'm sending it 2 cars of quartz. It only needs 1.5. If I had Mark 6 belts, it would only need 1. But I figured I'd send it extra. Who cares? Okay, because I have room on the train. Right, the train doesn't need to bring anything else. It could just bring extra quartz. And then that quartz will back up and I could use extras of that quartz somewhere else. And by the way, I have all this figured out too. This is the train hub. So this is the logistics level, all right? This is how I've separated them out in the logistics level. This is the Dune Desert. These are the direct belts that are going in. Remember I said there's a bunch of stuff around the pyramid. These are the direct belts coming in. This is the quartz, cat, iron, lime from the East Titan Forest. These are my inflows. These are my outflows. These are the factories that are using them. These are the net leftovers. So if I have another factory coming up and I need 300 limestone, I can overflow them off of these right here because I know that I'm getting 600 inflow off of each of those cars, and I have 150 left over. By the way, this is the extra. It isn't permanent extra. It's just extra for now. Right, and this one I'm already splitting. 640 per minute is going to the shard. 140 per minute is going to the United Tower. Right, that's the other factory. All right, so I'm just trying to I'm keeping track of where everything is and where it's going. So that's how I've solved this. So now let's track the bauxite. Remember we were tracking the bauxite. The bauxite is actually coming in a train over here. Oh, hydrate and posture, stretch. No cursing. We'll see what I can do. So this one is iron, copper, bauxite. Remember, we're tracking the bauxite. Here's all my bauxite. Some of this bauxite is getting pumped up from this train. But some, I believe, no, all of the bauxite is getting pumped up from the train. From this train, this is my bauxite train. There's one arriving right now. So the bauxite comes in, and I'm gonna need bauxite not just for the aluminum factory that I have now, but I'm actually gonna need bauxite for, let's ride this train. Let's ride it, baby. So we're gonna ride this. Wonder what would happen if I disconnected my camera from my body. The camera would stay still. Would it move? Would it drag the camera with me? Or would it drag my body off the train? You guys wanna find out? I do. Neither. It canceled the camera. All right, I like it. Good solution, Coffee Stain. So while we take this trip, remember that I need bauxite in 2 separate factories. I need it in the original aluminum factory to the tune of 4,500. Okay, but I'm also going to need it in this aluminum factory here, another 2,300. And am I going to need it in this final factory there? I am, another 900. Okay, so the bauxite that I'm bringing in from this location should be enough to handle the majority of the bauxite that I need. I'm bringing it in with one train line. See, I only have to build this train line once, but I'll be able to send all the bauxite I need to the hub and then split it out to the different factories that I need. Now, would it have been more efficient for me to make my hub a lot closer to the city? Yes. Why did I build it in the desert? Because pyramids in the desert are freaking cool. That's why. So if I was going for, having to build smaller train lines, I would have built this hub in a smaller shape, and I would have put it directly under the city, and then I would have made the spiral, the train spiral, come out of the top of the train hub. Right? Instead, I'm taking a bunch of stuff way out to the desert, and then I'm bringing it in from the desert to my city. And then here is the setup here, and let me show you why this is important. Okay. Now this is pretty full. It's not all the way full, but it's pretty full. This guy is full, right? Now he cannot flow in while it's being emptied. All right, but this is one line coming in, and then while this is between trains, this has to make up for the fact that we had time where it was shut off, and now it can double up. Right, so now it's doubling up, and now it'll empty out some buffer. One line in, 2 lines out. Now, if there's another train that's gonna be here, probably not, right? It'll make sure that this is nice and full. Now, there's a bunch of extra bauxite here. Why is there extra bauxite here? Well, because I'm not using it all yet, because I don't have all 3 of my factories done. But I've pre-made this so that I can just stick more bauxite in here. And especially when I get Mark 6 belts. Okay, now where does the bauxite come from here? This is another belt balancer. This is a huge one. Where does the bauxite come from here? Well, a lot of this bauxite comes from a belt bus that I made, right? Because this is that medium distance that is not versatile. I did use belts to go from the location of the actual bauxite, right? Which is all along here, right? There's bauxite all this direction, okay? And so I used a belt bus to gather up that bauxite stick it on my belt bus, and then bring it into to the station. Now, this belt bus has pipelines built into it because I made a blueprint, and that blueprint gets built very, very fast, especially now that we have automatic belt and pipe connections when we connect blueprints. So this came together extremely quickly. And I don't ever need to bring, I know I won't need to bring any more items from this direction, so I don't care that it's not very versatile. But I'm bringing it to the station in a central location for the station. And then there's other belts picking up the rest of the bauxite that's here in the red city.